I've got some news coming out of the United States where self-custody could potentially be deemed illegal. I've got much more news as well. So I'm going to cover this, but I'm going to give you a little bit of brightness on top of this. Let's get to this. All right. So we have Bernstein Research, right? And they have said pretty much that it is a done deal for January for a spot Bitcoin ETF to be approved. Now, I've been saying before that, you know what, I think we're probably going to wake up one day and it's just going to be approved and you're going to see the price skyrocketing, and a lot of the people that are sidelined are going to be freaking out, FOMOing into Bitcoin and a lot of the alts, especially some of the alts that our learningcrypto.com members have been getting into, which have been reaching all-time highs. We've been having many all-time highs today. All right, now we have the FOMC meeting today, and there is a, let's see, let me get this right, 98.4% chance of a pause. So rate hike pause, and, you know, pretty much it's not going to happen, all right? So they're not going to raise rates anymore this month, but people are worried about next month or the month after that. I'm not worried whatsoever because I think the market doesn't care anymore. It doesn't care anymore, right, guys? Like, look at the stock market, look at the broader market, and look at the crypto market. They're both doing just fine during high interest rates. Imagine that. All right, now we have this crazy number coming out of the United States. We have the U.S. to add another $1.5 trillion in debt by next quarter after borrowing $1 trillion last quarter. So they are just continuing to print ridiculous amounts of currency, which you know Bitcoin loves. Now, we have something funny before getting into something ridiculous like banning self-custody. Caroline Ellison, who said that Sam Bankman-Fried aspired to become the president of the United States. Wow. I mean, he did pay off 1/3 of Congress, but the fact, I think you're going to have to pay off more than 1/3 of Congress to be the president of the United States. I think you're going to have to pay off BlackRock and Vanguard and a couple other of those guys that select your presidents. Next, we have the worst news coming out. Or is it that bad of news? We have self-custody being, say, people that use self-custody are probably criminals. This is what Elizabeth Warren is saying. Now, she's a senator, I think, out of Massachusetts. She is also a Wall Street parasite. You know, I can prove this to you because she's worth $75 million, just about. It's 73 million, 75 million. But her salary is only $265,000 a year. Very interesting coming from a politician. Boy, she killed it. You know, how does she have time to make all these other investments? Well, Wall Street owns her, right? So now she's pretty much saying that criminals want self-custody. And sure, there's probably some criminals that want self-custody, but has she ever heard of the US dollars? I think back in 2012, I remember that HSBC was making their teller windows big enough for the Sinaloa cartel to put giant bags of laundered money into their bank, right? So they were the HSBC was pretty much the money launderer for the drug cartels. And I think they laundered like $865 million. And yeah, they got a little slap on the wrist because they own the game and they are part of the club that you and I ain't in. All right. So obviously they're going to hate on Bitcoin. Now, the thing is, even if self-custody does become illegal in the United States, that doesn't mean that they're going to be able to enforce this, right? So the harder a country goes against crypto, like the United States, the more incentive there is for the industry to be robust against it. So this is like, you know, E equals MC squared. So for every action, you have an equal and opposite reaction. So you have an action from the government, but then you have an equal and opposite reaction from the free market. Actually, the free market is much more powerful than the government because the government is working under a jurisdiction. They have a lot of bureaucracy and red tape that they need to go through, whereas the free market has the most brilliant minds in the world working for them and is going to tear them apart. So good thing. I love actually hearing from this because I understand that when I hear Elizabeth Warren, who seems to know a lot about Bitcoin, but has just showed the world how little she understands self-custody, that makes me very, very happy. They are about 10 years behind this space, and they are going to continue to be left behind. Very exciting times. Anyways, if you like this, please like and subscribe, and check us down below for the Learning Crypto website, learningcrypto.com, where you get to see many of our coins making all-time highs today, while Bitcoin is still pretty much flat. It's a very good time to be in the market, and especially in the right coins. Anyways, that's all I have. Talk to you soon.